Jay Caldwell's collection of baseball memorabilia shows the game at its most colorful. But his most recent undertaking, to illuminate the stars of baseball's Negro Leagues, was inspired by a distinct lack of it.
I think the Negro Leagues and the Negro League players are very underappreciated, and the only way you can really view them is in very few black and white photographs. So I had the idea of let's do a whole series of paintings to bring these people to life so that they will relate more to a younger generation. And the hope is by getting them to relate to a younger generation, we'll be able to teach history at the same time.
When Caldwell's collection of more than 200 original portrait studies goes on display at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City next February, it'll be part art show, part history lesson. However you view it, it will be a chance to witness some of baseball's all-time greats, as few have ever seen them.
I think they're going to be in awe of the paintings, but I also hope that they will read the little backstories that we put up next to the painting. And from that, they'll learn a little bit about the player, but also learn a little bit about the history of the period, really from about 1850 through 1960. There's this long history of professional baseball players that most people don't know about.
Legends like Saul White, who authored A History of Colored Baseball in 1907 and was an early and vocal advocate for the sport's integration. Or Billy Williams, who in 1904 was offered a contract by the New York Giants if he would pose as Native American. He turned it down, saying, "I am a Negro. I am proud of my race."
They were extremely good. There's no doubt that many would have played in Major League Baseball. They traveled in all parts of the country. They traveled overseas. There were goodwill tours to Japan and the Philippines and China. They played in Puerto Rico and Cuba and the Dominican Republic and Mexico and Venezuela. And they were appreciated internationally. They had experience of all kinds of cultures. They could contrast how they were treated in Mexico or Japan versus the United States. That gave them a perspective that most people didn't have.
A perspective players shared on their return, both in their daily lives and on the diamond, eventually culminating in Jackie Robinson breaking baseball's color line in 1947.
And so I want to convey this history and the civil rights struggles that they went through. As we talk today about various issues of race relations and so forth, is there more to do? Yes. But we've come a long ways, and some of those early pioneers were actually the Negro League players.
The paintings and associated licensed collectibles can serve as new platforms for their stories, barnstorming the country as players themselves once did, propelling baseball forward by the power of its past.
There's a need to pass on this history, and this is one of the vehicles to do it.